Minions, introduce yourselves. The minions will die! Oh, the minions are so dead.
Why don't I have a writing instrument thingy? The bobber.
I don't know.
Apple's equal team? Yeah. Mine.
Eddie, introduce
What?
yourself.
Wait, what? Hi. What the hell's going on?
That's Eddie. We're recording.
Really?
Where the hell have you been?
I went downstairs because I had to start dinner.
You silly monkey.
Of course I'm a silly monkey, so joke's on me.
Alright, and you'll assume the other voice that has not been introduced is Bulbazac.
No, I am Kazabluck. Bulbazac, no.
So you have the same naming convention that I use for DeviantArt.
He's Casablanca.
Kazablub. I am Kazablub.
Alright, we can't talk about Blizzard this week because, well, they haven't done anything smart or stupid. They've stayed out of the news. Good job,
For a
Blizzard.
change.
So instead, we're going to be talking about Guild Wars. And, because Guild Wars 2 just came out, so good rival to World of Warcraft. And their problem is that with the launch of their game, they've been having a lot of phishing issues. And that does not mean that you can't catch bass in the game, even though you should be able to. It means password stealing. Lots and lots of password stealing.
People, quit making your passwords the names of your pets.
Or 123 password.
1, 2. Bunch
I
of
gotta
dumbasses.
admit, I had that one at one point. I had password 123 as a password, and no one ever guessed it.
I have a complicated password.
And my password is now complicated because, well, I don't want to have...
How long is it?
Who, me or him?
No, just both of you. How long is yours? Both of yours.
12 characters.
12?
11 characters.
My friend has a 26 character password.
I bet it's reference to Star Trek.
No idea.
Now, I'll find you a clip later to watch. It's a hilarious clip. It's one of my friend's passwords because he managed to memorize it. But
What did it beam me up, Scotty?
no, it's based on data. Anyway, PAX Prime is I believe it's PAX Prime. Is it PAX Prime?
It's PAX Prime.
PAX Prime.
Talk small bit of news coming out of that. There's not a lot of interest, but this one, Ubisoft is offering Eddie feedback.
Yeah, what? Damn it, I'm gonna just sit on my couch then. Screw it.
Ubisoft is offering feedback. Here you go.
Yep, Ubisoft is offering feedback. Eddie will be giving it, but they're offering it. Now, if you go to their booth, this is obviously not going on now because they've obviously found 60 people to accept this, but I think it's cool that they did it. If you get a Mohawk at their booth, you get a free copy, or you got a free copy of Far Cry 3. Yay!
There you go.
It's always good publicity giving away free copies of your game because people look at it, they go, "Those people are awesome."
They go, free shit, give me.
Seriously, Ubisoft stole the show at E3, and they're doing the same thing here. Congrats, Ubisoft. We love you.
They deserve every bit of credit they get. They're a really great company.
Mm-hmm. That's what just any convention is good for, is free stuff, though. Kind of irritating when you see that they're always giving away free stuff at E3 because that's supposed to be a press convention. And you see people walking around laden down with swag. If you see someone at E3 with swag, they're not the press. They shouldn't be there. God damn it.
E3 wasn't always just a press convention.
Yeah,
so.
I know, but...
I kind of like the idea that it's not strictly press.
Well, that's what I like about things like PAX and Gamescom, is that these can be the ones for the consumers. For E3, I want to get news out of it. And the thing is, when it's not a press conference, they can get away with doing things like not actually allowing people to record anything. And that's just irritating. It's like we want to see gameplay footage, but you don't want to show us gameplay footage. So why do you even have shit? I don't know.
You could have Usher, stay alive. Yeah, that stupid kind of shit.
Need a new minion.
Yep. Here's a.
By the way, Casablub is way more violent than Bulbasac.
Yeah, we can tell. Should have never built a revolver into his forehead. Note to self: don't do that again.
Best idea ever. Revolver in forehead.
Your soul.
Now here's a little fail for the Battlefield team. The producer of Battlefield 3 is now working at Rovio. So, guy who helped make Battlefield 3 an awesome game is now working on Angry Birds.
Wow.
Either this is
And they
either
didn't
this
fire
is
him either. He quit. He quit to go to Angry Birds. And what irritates me is you've got a company that makes cheapo 2D games for the iPad, and yet they're worth umpteen $1 million. They should be out there making some kind of gunfight game now. This is unfair to the casual market.
I'm starting to think that Angry Birds just got 100% more awesome.
I hope so. Angry Birds has a Green Day edition out on Facebook that I've been playing because, well, I like Green Day. And you get a free song for beating it, so yay.
What?
You get a free song for beating the Angry Birds Green Day thing. It's like an exclusive song.
Oh no. I'm a lost minion.
What, can you not hear?
What?
Hi.
I've been found! Yay!
Too bad there's no Eddie minion. No.
It's like I had this random thought just thinking about Angry Birds that had nothing to do with Angry Birds, just like I want a certain franchise to return and be kind of cool.
What franchise would that be?
We need a new Worms game.
Yes, we do. Thank you.
Earthworm?
No, not Earthworm, Jim. Worms.
Worms.
I think I got a coupon for it, so I bought it. I got Worms 3D Golf on, or it's not even. I don't even know why they call it 3D Golf. It's not 3D Golf. They call it Worms 3D Golf, but it's just a typical worm game, except instead of shooting, you're playing golf, and it's fun.
But
I think Worms 3D was one of the hardest games I've ever played.
I think Worms would be great with not just 2 teams, but multiple teams.
Hell yeah. I'd like to see a Worms MMO, just ruining each other's lives.
Yes. I named one of my, I know this is way off topics, I named one of my teams one point after all the Musketeers.
Nice 4-man team.
Yes. Although D'Artagnan sucked.
Alright, this doesn't mean much to me, but Microsoft is supporting an LGBT gaming convention. And the thing is, I understand you want to be equal, but why does the lesbian, gay, bi, and transsexual community need their own gaming convention?
That's not equal. That's separating yourself. If you want to be equal, go to PAX Prime. There you go.
Exactly. It's kind of like the gay baseball league that wouldn't allow transsexuals in. It's completely unnecessary.
I'm just curious about what type of gaming will be at that convention.
I'm interested too. I haven't a clue. Honestly.
Did I hear that right?
My Xbox.
Because my brain's starting to hurt now. Did I hear that right? The whole baseball team, gay baseball league wouldn't let the transsexual thing in?
Yep.
Done.
Yeah.
Fucking done.
Eddie's done. We've heard it.
Oh, he's been done for a while. I shot him.
Let's see. The Gears of War Judgment writers say that their story is truly unique. Simpsons did it.
Ha ha, Jen. Ha ha.
I'm calling it. Simpsons did it. Whatever they do, Simpsons did it.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, there's no such thing as a unique story anyway, and I'm going to, in review form, I'm going to tear this game story a new nutsack for this.
Casablub has to rant because
Go for it.
Writing. Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm a writer. I understand this. If you are a writer and you say that your story is completely unique, someone needs to we're not even going to let you down gently. We're just going
Take
to
you out back with a kayak paddle.
Exactly. I'll shoot you with a revolver in my forehead. Every writer who actually knows.
I want fan art of this, by the way.
Yeah, every writer who kind of knows what they're doing understands that there is no unique story. You know, it's been done in some way or format. You can put your own individual spin on it, and that'll make it a little different. But the chances are it's been done.
Unique.
It's been done. As much as we as a society like our copyright laws, you know, anti-plagiarism, the best writers steal their ideas. I'm sorry, they do. Now, the difference between that and plagiarism is directly copying, which means word for word. So if you remember that whole Holy Blood, Holy Grail scandal with the Da Vinci Code, let's be honest. That was not his idea. It was, you know, he wasn't the first one to have the idea. He did steal that idea from someplace. But so did Holy Grail, Holy Blood. He did not plagiarize them because it was not word for word. It was not their idea in the first place. It was not his idea. Someone else has had that idea. It's probably been floating around for hundreds of years.
So what you're saying is that J.K. Rowling also stole her ideas.
Actually, yes. I've seen a movie, a British movie from the late 1970s, which is essentially an all-girls version of Harry Potter. Had all the characters: Harry, Ron, Hermione, Snape, Dumbledore. They're all there.
Huh.
And the thing is, you know, sometimes we don't know where we get the ideas, but chances are she could have seen the movie, something could have sparked it. Whatever sparked it, whatever sparked it, essentially, that's where she got the idea from. I could be going down the highway, hear a snippet of a conversation, I steal your conversation, base an entire story around it.
And if Carl Jung's right, then we're just all stealing ideas from some big communal dream pool of ideas.
Yep.
And those who get it, get it. I mean, I've had points where I have been in a workshop setting, reading somebody else's story, and of course I'm going to stare. Of course, probably since I've been in some workshop settings with some horrible stories, I'll probably tear the story a new one.
Yay,
but then I'll think, how would I do that story? I'll give you an example. In a workshop setting, there was a story. It was your typical ghost type story about, you know, woman kind of raped, molested, and then killed, and haunts her killer or whatever. It's like, how I would do it would be, you know, about the ghost kind of thinks that way, and then you find out that the ghost was kind of not right to begin with. You know, I had my own different spin I would have loved to do on it.
The ghost is not right? Oh my god, a gay ghost. Can ghosts have sexual orientation?
I'm not sure.
I think that would require a sexual.
I just thought that ghosts just got eaten by Pac-Man, but that's just me.
Only when they're blue.
Only when they're blue. Well, since this isn't the Writers Podcast, I think I shall end this rant before, you know, it goes on for an hour.
It's a good segue, because speaking of things that won't end, Final Fantasy 13. We're going to be getting Lightning Returns FF13.
Well,
because Square Enix has taken it upon themselves to take the worst games in form of story quality and give them sequels. Like, I love Final Fantasy VII. Not the best story, but it got sequels. Final Fantasy X, not the best story, it got sequels. Final Fantasy 13, horrible story, got sequels. The fuck is wrong with these people?
What happened to you, Square Enix? You used to be on the forefront of, amazing stories like 16-bit and 32-bit / 64-bit eras, and then you just...
Yeah, what's it? A game that could have used a sequel. Final Fantasy 9.
Where's my Chrono Break? Give me my Chrono Break. What's wrong with you?
Give him his game, damn it. But yeah, I don't know what's on their brains, because, well, obviously, actually, I do know what's on their brain. They're looking to make a profit.
When was the last Final Fantasy game that actually had a really good story?
Final Fantasy 9, I believe. That's my opinion.
10 was okay, but as far as story goes, 9, 10, that area.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I think about 10, but I definitely think 9 trumps it. And then before that, 6.
For an RPG, a story is one of your central pillars. If you don't have that, what in the world are you doing?
I think they're trying to turn Lightning into Batman, from what I've been seeing. That's just... It seems like, okay, we've got this character, let's do a sequel. People hated the first game, they kind of liked the second game, so let's do another sequel. And it just looks like they're trying to turn their main bitch into Batman.
Hey.
It's funny.
Hey, who are you? I'm Lightning.
Doesn't sound as cool. But it would even
I know,
be worse if it was
I don't think she
Snow.
can pull it off in that deep voice.
I think she could. She's obviously a lesbian. That's right, I said it.
Whatever happened to the unique RPGs?
Yeah, damn straight. Go to the Persona series. They're interestingly
Why is every story not unique? Oh, I'm sorry.
I've just gotten more and more disappointed, that's all.
And I hope we get this one. Japan is later this year is getting the Final Fantasy Ultimate compilation. That consists of Final Fantasies 1 and 2 on PS1, 3 on PSP, 4 through 9 on PS1, 10 through 12 on PS2, and 13 on PS3. Along with that, you get a commemorative DVD, art collection, and 2-disc soundtrack for $450, which I think is fair considering you could spend a comparable amount on just getting a brand new copy of Final Fantasy VII. And I think I heard Eddie try to butt in there.
No, small lines. If I hear the price, I'm like, fuck! Because, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, that's a good deal, $450. Fuck!
Yeah, let me scratch. 450 divided by 60, the standard brand new game today. So yeah, you're getting 13 games plus a DVD and soundtrack for the price of 7.5 games.
Mm-hmm.
So double your money's worth.
True, but still, it's one of those things where it's like, ow. Kind of hurts the pride in the pocketbook when you think about it. Especially when I own most of these games anyway for like the PS1 and shit.
Well, that's the thing. I own games I own Final Fantasy related. Tactics, 8, and 10. No, not 10, 12. So yeah, I could really use this collection.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure this one out. So it's basically the compilation is not like what they've been doing with HD compilations. It's pretty much like they just have just the original games and send them to you.
Pretty much, yeah. They're just reprinting the games, and so yeah, it'd be nice if they did some touch-ups to them. And I guess
so. They're actual
make the
PS1 discs.
Yes, those will be PS1 discs that will play in a PS1.
You bullshitting me? I already have these games. Then fuck you.
Well, to be fair, I don't know. Did they release 1 through?
Okay, I'll put it like this. Okay, I've got 1 and 2 on my PS1. I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I can pull them out of my bottom drawer right now.
All right. This is really good for people who don't own these games, though.
3 you can get for the DS. 10 and 12 you can probably find easily, and 13 you can probably find easily.
10 and 12 you can find on freaking Amazon for cheap.
10 to 12 you can walk into your used game store and buy.
Yeah, for extremely cheap.
For extremely cheap. I can't tell you how many times I've seen Final Fantasy 11 and 12 just going through used game shops. They're all over.
Final Fantasy 7, you can go online and find a brand new copy for $250 if you're lucky. Used copy about $100.
You can find a black label copy for about $60. I mean, I'm still crying on the inside that I didn't go to Matsuri-Con and get Nobuo Uematsu to sign my shit for me. So I was like,
hello, Mr. Uematsu. Would you sign 60 things?
So will you sign just this and this? I'm not gonna put them on eBay. These are collectors.
These are mine.
No one will ever have these.
Ever.
Exactly.
Unless I die.
I don't know if anyone's ever played this. I don't know if anyone here has ever played this game. I tried it out, but never really got into it. The superhero MMO City of Heroes, the game that pretty much shut down any idea of Marvel versus DC Universe doing well with a subscription model, is sadly shutting down because its company is going into bankruptcy.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, this is a really good game. Better than Marvel vs. DC, or not Marvel, just DC Universe Online, but I guess now it gets to stand high. Not much more to say on that. Sad. Hate to see good companies go down. Resident Evil 6, the retail copies are now loose in Poland, so people in Poland are playing Resident Evil 6 now.
God damn it!
And I believe if you went to PAX Prime and ordered a copy of Resident Evil 6, you got a t-shirt. I know that was the case for Metal Gear Solid Rising.
Fuck!
You mean it's actually coming out now?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, I guess. Wow.
Yeah, just as an FYI, I hate everybody I know right now that's going to PAX.
You know,
I know at least 4 people.
You actually know people who are going to PAX?
Yes, I know people who are going to PAX. I work with them.
You know people who leave their house?
Yes, I'm one of the people who actually leaves my freaking house. I gotta go to college.
I'm just surprised you actually know people personally who are going to PAX.
Yes, I do. Dude, my G-Con people.
Ah, of course.
Waldo, Lauren, and Marky.
Your names are now out on the internet.
They are already on the internet.
Here comes Causablub.
Gotham City Imposters, the awesome Batman-themed first-person shooter, is going free-to-play, though they're doing it silently. It's not like some big thing, so this is pretty much the only advertisement you're going to get, except for other people who mention it.
It's going free-to-play on Steam for the people on Xbox 360, so for those of you who wanted to get your hopes up for the Xbox 360 going free-to-play, sorry, you're shit out of luck.
Microsoft just doesn't like free-to-play, though. Because they don't make as much money off it. They're looking for the quick buck.
Yeah, no, still fuckers.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if anyone, if you two know about this game, but this is pretty awesome. Because it's in the name, Awesome Nuts. It's getting its 1.4 update later this week, which is a big overhaul of a lot of the elements of the game. And I know Eddie knows what League of Legends is. Awesome Knots is essentially a two-dimensional League of Legends.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a two-dimensional platformer. It's really fun. Like I said, yeah. Think of League of Legends in 2 dimensions. Side view, not top-down.
Once I get my computer fixed, I may download it and check it out if it's free to play.
I have to check in. I'm not sure. It should be. Most MOBA games are, but it could be one of the ones that cost stuff. I don't know. I can actually that will slow down the internet connection speed. Oh yeah, and we talked about this one at length before, but GameStop is considering jumping into the vintage game market.
I am kind of split on this.
Fucking duh is all I've got to say. You used to have it back in your stores when you were actually selling those old games, like the Game Boy Advance games. I sometimes often found the Game Boy Color games. But the thing that I have the issue with, is if you're going to go into the used market game, you're really going to have to go in with I can buy this for cheap and still sell it back for a little bit. Because if you're going to try to take a copy of Final Fantasy VII Black Label, take it, clean it up, polish it, make it shiny as hell, and you're going to try to resell it for $100, or if you're going to try to find one of those vintage cartridge Final Fantasy III copies and sell it for $60, go fuck yourself. I will buy it off Amazon or eBay for cheaper.
Exactly. Internet really crushes any idea of making a hand over fist profit, but if anything, they can empty their warehouse and make some pretty pennies. I'd like to if they do this, I'd like to get an Atari 2600 and each of the games for it.
I'm really wondering, because I guess we would, if it goes in the vintage game market, GameStop is going to have to reconsider everything it is doing, because
it's got to do that anyway.
Well, it has to do that anyway, because GameFly is having a field day with them. Mm-hmm. If you go into the vintage game market, you cannot do what you are doing with used games. You cannot do that. If you go into vintage game market, like everybody else who is in the vintage game market, if somebody trades in something, it has to be traded in. It's still going to be under what you're going to be selling it, but it needs to be traded in closer to what you're going to be selling it than further away.
Yeah, you got to make your profit in nickels and dimes rather than in big bucks, because, like Eddie said, you're not going to get people who are going to pay huge prices when they can just go on eBay and pick it up.
And the thing is, if people are going to you for vintage games anyway, and with trade-ins, they don't just want money. They want to actually trade in for content.
Yeah.
They're going to be trading in for other games, so it's kind of like a tit for tat type deal, which is why vintage game stores do this. You also cannot sell your games uber expensive. Vintage games, even though the internet would like you to believe this, really doesn't work that way. If you have, I will give you an example. There's a used game store in the mall, and they have a copy of Earthbound. They're selling it for about $150. It's not moving, because no one is going to be walking into a vintage game store and is going to pay $100 or $60 for a used game. It is not going to happen. I am sorry.
Yeah,
the game could be rare as crap, and maybe that could raise it to $60. I would buy Earthbound for $60. I'll be honest. But no one is going to pay over $100 for a used game.
Because what's it, Earthbound? You can go online and find an unopened copy for $100.
Yeah, unless you're on the internet, and if GameStop wants to do that, then don't even go into vintage game market. Just start selling your crap on eBay. If they would buy it anyway on eBay or Amazon, most people want it cheap, and their opinion is, if it's older, it's not more expensive. If it's older, it's actually cheaper. So they're going to have to start thinking cheap if they're going to be doing this. They can make some money, because there is a huge market, and there are a lot of retro / vintage gamers.
Yeah, you got all the emos who get their SNES and down talk modern gaming while writing their poetry with black eyeliner.
Or you have people like me and Eddie, who we keep our consoles and we flip between all of them.
Exactly.
I take care of my shit, so it's like,
I mean, I have.
Pull out the N64, play some Excitebike.
Play some N64. I have Sega Saturn. I mean, if GameStop does this, I'm going to go start searching for some good Sega Saturn games, because I can't find them anywhere else.
If GameStop does this, they sell it at a cheap and reasonable price. I can see them
their reputation while making a decent profit.
And maybe they're cornering the market.
Yeah. And maybe this could help them actually reconsider and get things right on used games, period.
my big thing on used games is I wish they would. And this is also towards the standard used game purchaser. You got to look at the developer. A lot of developers are going out of business because they're just GameStop is crushing them by not allowing them to make any profit off of their games. Once the used copies start coming in, they push the used copies as hard as they can, and the developers don't make any money off of these used games, and it's bullshit.
Let's put out a used game, put it back on the market, make it $5 cheaper. And then, you know,
not only make it $5 cheaper, but here's a social experiment for you, because you're going to see this every time. This is 100%. If you don't see this, the person is probably going to get fired. Go pick up a brand new copy of a game in a GameStop and take it up to the place. And at my local GameStop, not only will they suggest a used copy and suggest the savings, but they will also go out of their way to grab a used copy and shove it in your face.
Well, for sometimes there's a difference. I mean, okay, Xbox, I will probably go used game almost 100% of the time if I can. But if I'm getting a game for Wii, I'm probably going to go new copy, and you know why? Because I am now part of the Nintendo Rewards program, and hey, you know those little slip of papers that they have codes on? You insert that code in, and it only comes in new games because chances are, if somebody bought the new game, didn't like it, and put it in used, they tore up that piece of paper. Okay? Or GameStop probably removed it. But you take that piece of paper with a number on it, you insert it in, you get points. You can trade in those points for really cool stuff, like my nice Zelda 25th anniversary poster. Or even game themselves. Nintendo understands this is the way to sell new games. Mm-hmm. You have to have that incentive. Sony doesn't have it.
EA,
Microsoft
in their way to attack this have come up with their little voucher that you have to pay $5 for if you don't have to get access to online.
Well, that part is stupid. Nintendo's plan makes more sense because instead of punishing the gamer for getting used, it actually for buying used instead of new, Nintendo actually rewards gamers instead for buying new over used.
Yeah.
If they're part of the program. I mean, it's ingenious. And so, for example, a Wii game, I'll probably buy it new. Anything else, I'm buying used. I'm sorry.
I'll look for a lot of old, like, the new games that when they first came out, they were, like, super expensive. I'm like, I can't afford that right now. Let me wait a little bit, get it used. That's what my battle plan is, 9 times out of 10. But, if it's new, 9 times out of, like, if it's brand spanking new, and, I've got the money to afford it, I'm getting it. If it's something that I wanted, but I'm like, I'm on the fence, I'll pick it up later.
Yeah, like I said, I always go for the new copy just because I'm for giving my money to the people who made the game and not to GameStop. For me, it's just a moral thing.
Oh, the thing is, like, for me, even if I buy new from GameStop, I'll go out and I'll buy the new Halo 4 when it comes out. I'll buy the new Assassin's Creed limited edition that comes with the United States flag and, all that downloadable content and shit. I'll buy that new. I'll buy, if the price is reasonable enough, I'll buy a brand new Wii U when when the price comes. I'll buy brand new as long as as long as I've got the money for it, and I don't have the manageable problems of managing my time. Man, my brain hurts. Stop using logic.
And I'm sorry. I understand your point, Jen. But the thing is, I'm a gamer. I have limited money. If I can scrounge up the money to go to GameStop, and I'm not looking for anything particular, chances are I'm getting the used game because it's easier on me as a consumer. But if I'm going used games, I'm probably not going Xbox. I'm probably not going anything newer. Like I said, if it's Wii, I'm probably buying it new anyway. But I'm probably going back to the last generation. Although most of the times now, I just want to go to a vintage GameStop shop and even, even then go back even older.
Hell, I'm still looking for vintage games. I can't find them.
I'm continuously. I mean, it's not considered vintage games, but it's still used because of past generation. My biggest library is my GameCube library. I'm still filling that one up. I'm still hunting down a few. I'm still hunting down some Genesis and SNES titles. Mainly Donkey Kong Country 3. I can't find that game.
Dude, I'll put it like this. If I find it, I'll buy it, and I will send it to you for Christmas.
Sweet.
And it should be only like $10.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking a lot now for Sega Saturn games because I need a few good games. I only have 3 games I can really play on the system right now. And one of them is a fighting game, which I need a second controller, so I mean, pretty much useless. Second one I tried to trade, but the used game store there just stopped buying Saturn stuff because nobody's buying Saturn stuff, which is understandable. So I have a mech game I don't really want to play. Anybody want Mech Assault 2? Or Mech Warriors 2, whatever it's called. And by the way, if I'm going to be playing on my Saturn at the moment until I can find more good games, I'm playing Nights into Dreams.
Boop.
Because I found a copy and I bought it.
Alright, speaking about used game retailers, this one was a big story a couple months ago. A game retailer tried to sell his chain of 5 stores for $3.5 million on eBay, and no one was a taker. He was betting or putting it up as for $3.5 million you can live the dream, owning your own game franchise or game chain. And he failed, and another group has stepped up to try the same thing. For $2.6 million, you can have their 3 stores. I think this is pretty much where the idiot corner starts, because if someone didn't take 5 stores for 3.5,
okay, we're good.
If someone didn't want their 5 stores for 3.5, who's going to want your 3 stores for 2.6? Mathematically, it just doesn't add up. Unless there's someone who just didn't have 3.5 million, but does have the 2.6.
Someone dumbass.
Yeah. You can live the dream, just like that guy at the comic book store in Big Bang Theory. He loves his life, right? Right? Somebody buy us out.
If I had the money, I'd go for it, but I don't have the money. And if I did have the money, I'd be living the dream already.
Yeah, the sad part would be if you would buy these stores is I'd be awfully tempted to go through them and kick games out. I'm sorry. It's like I would love to work in a retro game store, because then I'd probably use part of my paycheck to actually put back in the store to buy games. Not all of it, but yeah, give me a employee discount. Seriously, if I worked at a game store,
if I had one of these places, of course an employee discount. Employee discounts get money flowing back in. It's a perfect system.
Even going back at GameStop, if I worked at a GameStop, I would probably be using part of my paycheck back towards GameStop. Not all of it, but
honestly,
yeah, which most people do anyway that work at GameStop.
Hell, if I worked at any game store, I was like, hey, I'll just work for video games. Just any video game that comes in, I'll work for it. You know, like if I want it, I take it, please. No, I'll just work here for free.
I need more money. So I would probably split it, and I would probably come with some ratio to figure it out. But yeah.
Yeah, I figure that's pretty much the way GameStop works. It is each GameStop has 5 people who are gamers who are going to be putting a good amount of their paycheck back into the store to buy games, and then they have that one really hot slut who is just there to be a pretty face and to make the horny gamers keep coming back. She is not putting any of her money back into the store, but she is an asset in getting those horny gamers to return.
What the utter fuck? My Xbox just turned on randomly.
Play me, Eddie.
I'm not even touching it. And she's like, randomly turning on now? Oh, now I see why you turn on.
All right, now to continue and end out the podcast with our little bit of our last bit of the idiot corner. The president of EA pledges that they will not make the same mistakes in the next generation. When I saw this article, I was like, wow, they're actually changing their business model, because that's where their main mistakes are, is the way they do business. But no, they've missed the point entirely. They're going to make sure that their technology is perfect for the system, because apparently that's what they think the mistake was, is they didn't have a good engine to build on.
Sorry, thanks for playing. Please try again later.
It's like your mistake is that you are a territorial and horrible business that just wants to make money hand over fist as much as possible.
And you alienate your fan base.
Exactly.
Wait a minute,
that's
what
your
fan
problem.
base?
Fuck off, EA.
Dumbasses.
Yeah, any it's been a slow week. I don't think we got much more. Bulbazak, you can do your shameless plugs now.
What there were shameless plugs?
I figured you'd plug your channel, say, hey, check out.
Oh, yeah, I have a YouTube channel. Check it out.
It's going to be in the little description box. Probably. Maybe. Never.
I also love how EA goes, hey, lots of commercials with Madden NFL 13, which is exactly the same as the other games, and no one cares. Thank you. And it's always the non-gamers they show playing the games. I said they really are going to be playing the games. Maybe I misunderstand the Madden fan base. If there is a Madden fan base, because they always get rid of the past games, which means there is not a Madden fan base.
Yeah, I saw a news story. It's like Madden 2013 sold 900,000 copies. It's like, this is news? Of course Madden's going to sell a lot of copies. The only thing that would be newsworthy is if they either sold less copies than normal, or if they, say, sold 5 million copies on day one.
It's going to sell because there's nothing else out right now except Darksiders 2.
That and the people who buy Madden are, of course, going to buy Madden every year, because that's usually the only game in their collection besides Halo, the newest Halo title, because there's obviously no older Halo titles, because they trade those in, because they don't care about the story or the collector's value or anything.
And they do the same with Madden. I mean, the sad thing about the EA Sports games or any sports games,
I can actually understand it with Madden though, because the newer games are almost always better, and there's no real story to it.
Yeah,
and you can't get on Wikipedia.
And the thing with any sports games is, used game stores are really trying to literally give them away at this point. They can't. They can't get rid of them. That's the problem.
A friend of mine, I might have him on sometime in the future, I don't know. He actually got all of the copies of Madden 2002 for the PS2 from our local GameStops. He just came by with his truck, and they brought him the boxes of these copies of games, because they were trying to sell them for $0.25, and they couldn't get rid of them. So they gave them to him, and he's actually using them to make furniture that he is then selling. And he's making more money on the furniture made with these game discs on them than GameStop ever had a chance of making.
That's fucking hilarious.
No one wants these old sports titles, I'm sorry.
Well, they do want these old sports titles when they're being desecrated to make a nice little coffee table for the living room.
Yeah, unless that year was revolutionary, no one wants it.
Yeah.
And then, even then, they might not want it.
After a couple years have passed, revolutionary or not, they don't give a shit about it anymore. Once it's no longer supported for online play anymore.
To be honest, a lot of gamers aren't playing these EA sports games anyway.
Yeah. Damn you, EA.
Are you, Eddie? I'm not.
I went and tried to win it today just because it's like, hey, free game, but lost my ass off because I had to play my cousin who's a lot better than me at it, so yeah.
I remember one time there was a football league using the newest version of the NCAA football, and I'm terrible. Although sometimes it can be very good because I tend to tended to use like these Hail Mary passes all the time just because, hey, you could throw the football and run and catch it. I had no real strategy. I just picked a random play out and went with it.
That's normally how I win any game in Madden. Is my tactics are so noobish that the seasoned pro I'm playing against has no idea what's going on.
Okay, so what's he going to do on defense? He's blitzing again? What the crap? Tackle the quarterback. There was no other plan.
No, I have a friend who, that's it, whenever he plays me, he makes sure he counters a blitz, because yes, that's a lot of my thing is blitz, 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 blitz.
And then drive him crazy. I played against another friend who was just as inept as I was when we were doing this like little league thing. It didn't it lasted barely a year. It lasted a year. The second year it tried, no one really cared. But we did this, and it became 2 years running. Is we'd go into the mascot mode. All the stats are like buffed out like crazy in that mode. We pick our favorite mascots and just go at it. We didn't care.
That's us, everybody. Have a good night and enjoy that theme song.
Did it.